Hello, everybody. This is No Bullshit Gaming Podcast, 2.5 Gamers, session number 27. We're discussing the latest industry news, having fun, and dropping knowledge. Let's not forget, this is still 4 a.m. conference discussion vibe, so please don't take it too seriously. And today we're going to talk about some interesting things that happened in our careers, but then we have some news regarding the Applovin and Unity bomb, right? Well, who's going to talk about that? I guess us three, and some other news. But then we have Felix Praberg here, Jakub Remjar, and myself, Matej Lančarič. Welcome, guys. What an intro, right?
Well,
there you go. Oof.
Yeah.
Amazing. How are you?
I'm good. Like, I dressed up and put on a shirt, because we're talking about our biggest fuck ups in our careers. So I just wanted to look representable so people don't think I'm a loser.
That's why I look half naked. There you go.
Because Machi doesn't make any mistakes.
Oh, you would be surprised. You would be surprised. Yeah, we want to talk about those fuck ups because because everybody do those, and we want you to learn from those fuck ups so you don't do them as well. Yeah, how about you, Jakub? How was your vacation?
Yeah, pretty good, I would say. It's great that it's like a mountain part and sea part.
Yeah, you still have your bags on the table. I can see them.
No, they're not. They're already like
some other bullshit.
Unpacking took a lot, let's say.
Oh yeah,
because you have to pack for 2 weathers in one holiday.
Yeah, so. I know. Yeah. But you did it last year as well, right? So
yeah, it's really good. Like I encourage anyone to didn't try this one because it's really good. You can have all seasons in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then you can kill yourself afterwards.
Exactly.
You experience everything.
From icebergs to sea.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm finally, because Felix did all the festivals in the world, I guess. So now I'm finally going on a festival on Friday and Saturday. Yay! Looking forward.
Treat yourself.
Oh yeah, I will. I'm gonna be destroyed on Sunday, I guess. But that's the part of it.
So before we dive into the news, I haven't been gagged yet from AdMob on the bidder. So we're actually starting right now. It's on 5%. It's on day 3. Started to roll out now on 25%. It's looking a lot stronger on iOS than Android. So there was a bit of a downlift to start with, but like that gap closed super quickly. So it was a bit of a downlift, maybe like 12% on one game. But then the next day when I checked it again, it was 1%. So if we keep on this trajectory, it's looking like it's going to be a very, very, very nice August little present. But you never know. Yeah, usually with these bidders, they start by not being very good and then they get gradually better. But that they're already on par, that's quite a good sign. So let's see what happens.
Nice.
But who knows? I might be slapped on with a NDA gag and might not be able to share it. But I think by next week, there'll actually be some juicy things to share.
Nice. Very good. Regarding Google, there is a Google Tiro's iOS beta program, which is happening for some time. But now it looks like Google is expanding the list, the white list, I guess. So if you have your account manager, reach out to him to be able to, maybe you will be able to get whitelisted.
What does that mean? What is Tiro's?
So Tiro's is a campaign optimization for value, which was possible on Android and iOS before the IDFA happened. But when the IDFA happened, they closed it because of the IDFAs. And they were trying to get this back on for some time. And this is like the most powerful campaign optimization on Android. And it was performing super well on iOS too when before the IDFAs. So now it's back. Let's see how it goes. I'm whitelisted for 2 of my accounts. Pretty much looking forward to get on those campaigns. So I will be sharing some numbers as well with you guys next week, most probably.
Nice. Look at us, whitelisted for two different Google products.
Yeah, well, we love Google. Google loves us. Thank you very much, guys, for listening. We love you. Again, no lawsuits from Google. so far.
Should
Yes.
So
we
that's a good sign.
start with the bombshell that everyone is talking about?
Yes, but please just quickly, because my LinkedIn and Twitter exploded, and like I have a feeling like everybody wants to discuss and comment, even though they are not pretty, eligible for commenting. So let's try to comment quickly. So what the fuck is happening? Everybody knows.
So, uh, Applovin absolutely stunned our industry by offering to merge with Unity. It announced a non-binding proposal to the board of directors of Unity to combine Applovin with Unity. And I guess Adam Ferrugi's quest to own everything in the world keeps going.
It's a
And
beast.
yeah, beast. I mean, I even heard rumors that he's buying my apartment complex. So that's next. I'm joking. But yeah, some interesting points of the deal include some interesting points here is Applovin shares are down 10%. So the street does not like this. Shares of Iron Source were down 11.2% as well. But you got to keep in mind that Wall Street is very short sighted. So, they only look maybe 2 or 3 quarters ahead. They don't generally think in the long term. And us, anyone who's in our industry who are in the know, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
So, this this merger is subject to to approval by board of directors from Unity, but also one of the caveats that was attached to this bombshell was that they would have to terminate the proposed acquisition of Iron Source,
Woo.
which
There you
would
go.
mean that they would have to pay a $150 million termination fee if Unity decides to walk away. Now, I had a little comment on this, and I just have to applaud Adam Ferrugi. I think he's probably one of the most shrewd and most effective operators in our industry, and I just like big round of applause. He announced that he would be willing to let Unity have 55% of voting shares, and also to allow John Riccioletto to remain as the CEO, and he would be taking the role as the COO. And that's just masterful.
Yeah.
I've never met John, but from what I'm hearing, he's a tough leader, maybe a bit more of an ivory tower guy, and Adam is more of a hands-on guy. But I don't think he would ever have accepted this, or will accept this merger if
Yeah.
he would not have been able to stay on as CEO. So
Yeah.
it just shows level of shrewdness. And the big question I have: was Iron Source simply just a pawn in this M&A game to basically get a better price for Applovin, and were they always the big target? Man, I would love to be a fly on the wall, because these things, like
Of course.
the egos involved here when it's billion-dollar companies, everything like this is just super exciting.
I have my popcorn already.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna be sitting the back seat and trying to see what happens, because
Yeah.
it was quite a move. Like when announced this in the morning, when the Unity earnings call is in the afternoon, bam, in your
Yeah.
face.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, Matthew, because I was thinking about this. So I've done like 3 consulting calls already about this since yesterday. It's like going crazy.
Nice.
All the calls they wanted to ask was, what does this mean for user acquisition? So like you have the 2 monoliths, Facebook and Google. Facebook is kind of floundering. If Unity combined with Applovin, that means that Applovin or the Applovin network would have access to pretty much how many games are built with Unity, like 98% of the games in our industry,
A
90.
lot. Yeah, a lot, 90 plus.
Yeah, but then you have stuff like Genshin, which is Unreal and makes
Yeah. That's an
number 3 spot on the planet.
But I'm just wondering, Mathieu, from a UA perspective, does this would this merger, if it goes through, put them on a UA par, maybe in like 3 or 4 years with Google and Facebook?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would be even bold and say, if this happens, Unity is already exceptionally good in terms of the UA lately, and it's outperforming Facebook by far. If they combine with the Applovin inventory plus the bidding and the campaign optimization, they could easily like take down Facebook for sure. I mean, even sooner than 4 to 4 years. So yeah, and that's 100%.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective as a like on the publishing side, right? I'm not sure this is a good idea because I get more higher ECPM and higher ad revenues when there's a lot of competition.
Yeah,
If I only get my ad revenue from three big monoliths, great.
sure, but still, there are like three big ones. And now, anyway, like there's like Facebook competing with Google, and then some others. So you would still have pretty big competition, even between those three, right?
I mean, if Adam doesn't buy them as well, right? Who knows? Yeah.
True, very true. Yeah, okay.
Anything to add, Remo?
Trying to understand this in a way, like, isn't this kind of a, because for me it sounds, if you take the fact that they are pretty much giving the control to Unity, isn't this kind of a ask Applovin asking Unity take us instead of Iron Source, rather than kind of a this kind of a joint control?
So there's like in mergers like this, like there's always a top dog, right? But then usually what happens is like when is $1 billion company, the politics that goes on at these higher echelons, because there's so much money involved in terms of payments, in terms of salary packages, stock packages, the amount of like corporate maneuvering and politics that will be going on, like it's deadly, I'm sure. Like I don't think the majority controlling stake of Unity there even matters, because it's all going to be down to the politics in the C-suite. So
what will happen with Iron Source if this goes through?
Man, I wouldn't say. I wasn't going to say. I wouldn't say. They're in a precarious situation. Let's just say it there.
Okay, and if they turn Applovin down and go with Iron Source instead?
Man, the deal's so good. Like I can't see them doing it. The deal is so sweet. Like, let's see. I mean, I would be fuming if I was Iron
Don't you
Source
think that
right
the
now.
Iron Source will now have to counter offer something, or give up something?
Well, but
what can they counter offer? Like, let's see.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing they can do. Or is it? I don't see it. I don't see it yet.
Maybe they can merge with Bungo Liftoff. I don't know. But they need to, like, they need to beef up, or they're gonna they're gonna be left outside in the cold and wither.
With the 150 million termination fee, yeah.
I mean, that's peanuts in this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This type of deal, what is 150?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
super interesting. But I think
everybody's
everyone who
talking
has
about
an
it.
opinion, who has a mobile phone right now, is commenting on this. So let's not spend too much time on this, right?
Yeah.
Let's wait for the
already had
next
a call.
chapter in the saga.
Exactly. Let's see what
I had
happens.
already a call in the morning, and it's like this was the opener. Like, yeah, what do you think about the Unity upload? Like, fuck's sake, seriously. I was even wanted to say or post yesterday on LinkedIn, like, hey, these are 2 cents from my side, and then say, well, nobody asked me, so fuck off,
dude.
But,
next time you get asked that, just be like, yeah, I renamed my daughter Adam.
Oh yeah, that's amazing answer.
Moving on,
okay,
Remo, you have some interesting news.
Yeah, let's move on. I think this one got kind of hushed out by the big other news, so let's just take a little bit about this one. So Zynga did a 12 million class action settlement, where Zynga agreed to pay 12 million to resolve claims of it operated illegal gambling schemes through mobile slot games. The settlements benefits individuals who played Hit It Rich, Black Diamond Casino, Game of Thrones slots, Wizard of Oz slots, and Willy Wonka slots in the state of Washington by the June 28, 2022 deadline. According to Washington customers, Zynga slots and casino games violate state laws because they are actually illegal gambling apps. Once players run out of their allotment of free chips, they cannot continue to play the game without buying more chips for real money. The Zynga class lawsuit explains. Zynga hasn't admitted any wrongdoing but agreed to pay 12 million to resolve these allegations. So the big question, I guess, is how this will kind of affect the casino genre, especially the slot genre. Because if I get it
It's
right,
only Washington State.
yeah, it's only Washington State, but wouldn't it be like a precedent to use in other states?
I mean, could
Mm.
be, but then you have the what was it? The Gree lawsuit action against Supercell, was it? And
But that was
some
not slots.
I
That
know
was
it
some
wasn't
gacha
slots, but
thing.
but still, that could be a precedent as well, and nothing happened afterwards.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean, I
kind of
know.
curious because, like, if others could be in the making, because there's like at the end of the article, I think like people can kind of join in on this
Mm.
as the customers of that. So yeah, I'm kind of curious how this kind of pans out because the casino genre itself is evolving super fast nowadays. Where you have these like, if you take stuff like Cone Master or
Mm.
Pirate Kings or even the
Dice Dreams.
Dice Dreams game, yeah, which is just it's slots, but basically it's with dices.
Yeah,
It seems like it's not slots, but it's slots in the end. It's just like different visual, and all these games are pretty much the same. So I would be really curious how the kind of the whole thing pans out in the long term for the genre.
I mean, I'm just happy we finally admitted that social casino is gambling.
In one state.
surprise,
There we go.
surprise, surprise, surprise. Well,
No, but it could be
okay.
interesting. But yeah,
Yeah.
Well, what is interesting is that 99% of Netflix subscribers haven't tried their games yet.
Yeah, this one's really
dude, this is
interesting.
a
That's
good
it.
news. This is juicy news. I do like this news piece. Do you want to take it, Matthew?
Yeah, it's according to the CNBC data from Apptopia, the Netflix games average 1.7 million users per day, which is a sliver of Netflix's 221 million subscribers globally. Apptopia found that Netflix games have been downloaded a total of 23.3 million times since Netflix announced a push into the mobile gaming in November 2021. And Netflix wants to double these current offerings of games to 50 titles by the end of this year, and they acquired 3 indie game studios to help meet this goal. Well, so I think it's 1%, obviously. It's 1.7 million, which is not bad number because they didn't do anything, basically just slapped the games in their app, and that's it. And they are talking about it. Yes, they're hiring new execs. They are trying to buy or acquire new studios, but indie studios won't do the trick,
Like if I
unfortunately.
understood correctly, their strategy is build free to play games without monetization.
Yes, and I already saw some LinkedIn post about this. Like, oh well, thank you very much, Netflix. This is amazing. We are happy to work with you because we don't want ads and microtransactions in games. So
Why would you not want ads?
yeah,
What?
and
Because Netflix is
microtransactions.
without ads yet until they do their second
They'll
business
figure out
model.
they can earn a lot of money from ads, and they'll be
And
in.
they will. They already
Oh yeah,
have.
of course, and immediately switch the lights on and have ads in everything basically. So
I don't know.
yeah,
It seems to me like Apple Arcade 2.0 for now, still. And
yes, but
if I understood correctly, half of these games that they have on their account are hyper casual.
yeah, it's hyper casual mostly based, I think. Still, I mean, what would you play there?
I just I just cannot get this kind of a problem because what they're trying to do is that they build live service games that you get when you have Netflix subscription, even if Netflix subscription would give you some kind of advantage over the game. But then what? They deny you the access to the games once you don't have the Netflix subscription.
Well,
I don't know.
yeah,
Anyway,
nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's just really a mystery, like what they're trying to achieve.
but like the, the
honestly.
the numbers look quite good. I mean, they
Yeah,
haven't
it's
I
not
haven't
that
seen
bad, I
any
think.
ads. Like it's showing like it has promise. Like I don't
What
think that's a bad
1.7
number.
million DAU?
Yeah, sure. If you compare it to any big gaming company, super tiny. But the fact that they've done that in less than a year, and I haven't
Yeah,
seen a single ad in Netflix pushing me towards these games.
exactly. I
Imagine
mean,
when they
it's
turn this on,
yeah,
and it just realized to me, like, imagine if they get like one of the retargeting companies to start retargeting Netflix users to download the games.
oh
But
yeah.
Oh,
downloads
like
don't pay bills, man.
They don't, of course, but they keep keep people in the app, maybe.
It just keeps
Um,
if you're playing a game that you like and you're thinking about canceling your Netflix subscription, you won't cancel it.
That's a
Like,
great assumption on paper.
oh, of course, yeah,
why do you think
100%.
it's bad? Like, let me hear
Because
it. Like,
there's so
what?
much free alternative on the market. So much free
Yeah, but they have
alternative.
microtransactions and ads.
Yeah, but people want those. That's why the market is
Not
so
not
big.
not not everybody. Not everybody, unfortunately. I could see it around us. You can just walk around in the Slovak gaming industry. Like there are a lot of people just bitching about microtransaction and ads, and this is just a fraction of the whole gaming industry that we have worldwide. So it's not everybody's like us, unfortunately, or
I know,
fortunately,
but
not
but uh,
sure.
but but the number speaks for themselves. Like if the games would be so big, why only 1% is playing them?
Because it's you have shitty games there. That's first thing. Sorry, guys.
But they have the IP, right? Like, they have a lot of good IP that they could like leverage. Anyway,
Yeah,
I
well,
I'm thinking this shows promise, but yeah,
yeah. I also think it's not that bad since they've done zero marketing, zero anything, zero push towards the games. They're just announcing new games and that's it.
I'm not
Really.
saying it's
imagine
bad.
this.
I'm just
You
saying
know how
that
they announced that they're gonna have an ad tier, right? Imagine like if you play the Netflix games and you're on the ad tier, you see ads. Oh,
Ooh.
nom 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 nom.
you just want to stick ads everywhere. That's it.
Of course,
Do you
because
not?
yeah. And then he will look at his phone like, oh well, hello, yeah, this is Felix. Oh, what do you? Oh, can you just run, ads for us, please? Oh yeah, of course. Thank you very much for calling. There you go. But
Yes.
yeah,
All right.
stop
Should we
stop with this,
move on? Yeah,
boring
let's move
stuff.
on. Yeah.
If you've built a mobile game for iOS or Android, you've experienced user churn. You can win those users back, but it's getting more and more expensive, even more so to acquire totally new users. Enter cross-promotion with Addictive. By identifying your users likely to churn early, you can showcase another game in your portfolio before they leave forever, transforming a lost user into a new user, increasing your revenues. Learn more now at addictive.com.
Let's move on to actually fun stuff again. So, as you might notice, last week we discussed some news and had a little fun. Now we did the same, but I guess we will have a very different type of fun because we are making fun of from ourselves. Who wants to start? Who wants to start?
Mm,
Yeah,
I can start
very good.
as usual.
As you have,
As I
what do
see
you
your
mean as usual?
enthusiasm.
Fine. Do you want me to start? Fine. If you feel like you always start, I can start.
No, you know what we are going to hear about always. Like it's the VR stuff for
No,
sure.
we are still the second one.
Okay.
So, for those who are
Yes.
listening that didn't clock it yet, we're going to be talking right now about the biggest fuck ups that we have ever done in our careers
Yep.
and what we learned from them. So you don't have to
Yeah.
make the mistakes that we made.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's hear it out.
This was like 2017, I think. Like one of the first kind of free to play games that I was doing there back in the days at Pixel, and we were doing a match 3 game, something similar in a way of Toon Blast. Yeah, no, Toy Blast.
Toy Blast back
Toon
then.
Blast didn't even existed by the time. But yeah, we were having a click to match game, and the game wasn't really taking off after like 9 months of production, and we were trying to iterate it within the soft launch period. And one of the things that, if I look back nowadays, and I think it was like a really big problem, was that we started to add more and more features on top of it without thinking why the core won't work instead. And that's like one of the bigger problems that I see even these days, that people, rather than taking the hard way of like, yeah, let's think out of the box and kind of take everything that's solid out of the table and start to think like, what can we cut down, what can we cut off, and like this will be probably better this way. uh people start uh, People start to do iterative changes that are kind of small, or adding features on top of something that doesn't work in the to begin with. And that was one of the problems, that we added pretty much like a dress up gacha system on top of a match 3 system that I remember. It sounds great on paper, as always,
Yeah,
because
as
it would
always.
differentiate the app. It would like add depth to it.
Yeah,
It would it would cater to the core audience, and everything was great. But then in the end, it didn't did a dent on the KPIs and after it was rolled out. So just by looking at it, one of the things that we could have probably think about much more would be the core gameplay, where we were, let's say, we were iterating with this kind of one ability that you would be able to charge up during the gameplay. We could have played with that and the overall kind of mechanics rather than this kind of additional feature that progresses into metagame of the game. So definitely looking into early retention and not being afraid to do big bold changes, which is really hard because you need to convince everyone, not only like
but
yourself.
that's your job.
Yeah,
That's your
that's
job
my
to do.
job.
How much did this fuck up cost the company?
The project was killed, of course.
Yeah, but how much, like, would you say?
Like the sunken cost,
Yes.
I would
Wow.
say something in like 200k, 300k
I think more.
CDT, or even more.
More because
300k tops.
Yeah,
I would say.
how long was the
9 months. 9 months
9
altogether.
months. 9 months, and the team size was what, like 10 people?
Could have made a baby instead. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, of course.
Yeah, the good thing is was super fast because it took like 6 months in production to get into soft launch state, and then 3 months in soft launch state where we were iterating this. So the speed was pretty good, and like the overall, like it sounds great on paper, but that was the bigger problem, that we should be much more bolder with the things. And yeah, the other problem we have that none of us had an experience with match 3
Yeah,
games.
that's the
Of course.
thing.
That was an even bigger
Yeah.
problem.
That's the biggest problem.
Like
You're
next time I'm
building a
building
match
a
3,
match 3 game and there's no one with experience with match 3 games, yeah, we're not building these guys.
Yeah, just run. Just run.
Yeah. That would be even a bigger problem. The second one,
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait, no. You don't get two in a row.
No, yeah,
What?
no way, dude, no way.
No.
Yeah. So I can go. It's actually pretty quick. I do have a lot
quick.
of yeah.
It doesn't make mistake.
Yeah, okay. I've done a lot of them.
This morning I put on one sock instead of two.
Jokes aside, no. So there was the time when the AAA campaigns were launched on Facebook, and since I have a lot of accesses, I had a lot of accesses on my personal account, so I was able to make a lot of mistakes and run a lot of different campaigns under very different accounts. So I kind of mixed two accounts or two games. So I ran one creatives on the other game's account. So I didn't, because I was doing everything just like very very quick and almost like in an automated way, because it's really easy to launch a AAA campaign. I was like, okay, okay, launch, bye. And then suddenly, like, oh, wait a second, why are the CPIs are super high? Like, what's happening? So then I found out I ran a very different casual game on a mid-core account, and then I did it again in like the next 2 weeks on a very different account again. So I was like, yeah, well, look at that. But what was actually interesting is that those campaigns kind of paid, or the ROAS of those campaigns was 100%.
Anyway, even though it was a different game.
Yeah, it was different because it was a different game, but it was super low spend. So I actually caught it after like 100 or 200 spend. So it was like 50 players or maybe 30 players. So it was like not a very big fuck up, but then still I was that spend was deducted from my invoice afterwards. Because I said, look guys, I made a mistake and it's all on my own. So yeah, let's take it off.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So like $200 mistake.
Yeah, well, that was one account. There was other account with a little bit more spend than 200.
All
but
right.
still.
So we have
what was the mechanism behind like you discovering it out? Was it you or somebody told you, or how did you?
Yeah, well, one was me and the other was the gaming company. Like, hey,
which one was sooner?
Soon it was the company, and then the other one was me actually. It's like,
Okay.
hey, why are we running this game on our account? Like, oops, sorry about that. Well, can happen.
All
So
right.
watch
So
out.
you have a 900K or 600K mistake, but that was collective, so that's not all on you. And you have a
Yeah.
$200 mistake. You guys are
Oh, when we
rookies.
won.
Let me talk about my fuck ups here.
You
Let's
have a
go.
million one?
No, not that much, but dude, no. So it was like my 5th or 6th week in network. As their admin guy, I was super fresh. Like I had experience, but anyway. So I was optimizing rewarded placements in Tetris, which was their flagship ad revenue game. So the game, I can't remember like how much it was making. It was probably making like 30 to 40K a day in ad revenue. So that's like on the higher end in
Yeah.
games, right? So even how, let's say, how Applovin categorizes this, if you as a company make 50K a day, you're a mid-tier client. So one game making as much as that puts you in a mid-range for pretty much like one game for a client, quite a big deal. So the rewarded waterfalls hadn't been split into tiers before. So this is like a very profitable admon trick where you group similarly priced ECPM priced geos together. The idea is that you're then able to optimize these blocks like better, and you're able to squeeze a higher revenue by optimizing mainly like ad mob in these geos because of the stupid ad mob 3 placement rule. So since you can have more than 3 placements per geo for ad mob, so the most profitable tier is usually America. So I'm there, with my blonde hair, my blue eyes, explaining in the Slack group how me, 5th weekend was going to improve ad ARPDAU by doing this. It's going to be the best thing since sliced bread or Angry Birds even. I don't know. Uh, so I set up the tiers in the A/B test, go to bed and wake up, and the next day, like, boom, 9K a day more from rewarded in America on only 50% of the audience. People in Slack were like, wow, rockstar. And I'm all lapping it up. UA team's like, wow, we're going to be changing the campaigns now. This is great. Next day, left the A/B test. And I was like, this is actually looking a bit too good to be true, So at that time, we're almost up, 20K in a bump from 2 days on 50% of the audience. So I decided to put the success aside and I go into the network dashboard just to confirm, my genius. So in Unity, I put $100 placement at like nearly the top of the waterfall. So I think we have $100 placement that's filling at $100, but it's really set to 10 cents. So we've not earned an extra 20K, but in fact, we've lost close to 10K because of my fuck up.
Nice. Well,
so big facepalm moment. I think every admon person has made this mistake, and you're allowed to make it once. You don't have that much choice here. You just need to kind of, shit your pants, jump into the pool. So I pinged the group about the mistake I made, added an apology, and I also included like what I would change in my like processes to make sure that I would never make that mistake again. And I actually haven't since then, knock on wood. You feel kind of useless after, but I think what I've learned from this, like when things look too good to be true, they usually are. So always double check and always own your mistakes. And when you like own your mistakes, always add on what you're going to change to avoid doing that mistake again. But yeah, I think now, like then, wasn't feeling good, but now I can kind of like laugh about it.
Yeah, the thing is, like, you need to make mistakes in your career. That's what makes you stronger. It actually, improves you and your processes as well. What I did back in at Pixel Federation when I joined, I was the Google UAC, or well, it wasn't UAC back then. It was Google AdWords back then. So I was the Google UA manager, and we're spending quite heavily on our web portal, and the whole company was used to measure the Facebook performance, and they were seeing a very short payback period, so like 3 months. And there was like all company was like, yeah, well, we're getting money back in 3 months. Then I kind of overspent on the Google, like 100K overspent, which is not a small overspent. But
What
then
was the total UA budget a month when you overspent?
it was like 30K, I guess.
So you overspent like
Yeah,
3x.
70K. Yeah, a little bit. But I had my reason. So it looked good because the first metrics were kind of better than Facebook, but then it slowed down. But the fun part was like everybody was freaking out. But then I was like, "Yeah, look, guys, like wait a little bit. It's gonna get we are gonna get the money back, but I don't know when." So then I was there for 5 years, and then after 3 years, I was always like every month I was checking those cohorts to see like when the fuck they're going to be profitable. And then they hit the profitability in 3 years. There you go. But man, I was almost fired. I was almost fired. I know, like everybody was, rushing around, like really screaming, like, "What the fuck is happening? Like, why do we always be like, yeah, I know, but look, just wait." And it's like, how can we wait? Like, I know, I get it. And I was really, I mean, I was like junior. I was like, yeah, well, I was there for like 3 months, maybe 4 months. So yeah, it was actually an interesting experience, but so the thing is, like, if you are looking at one UA channel, it doesn't mean that the other UA channels are going to, perform exactly the same. Actually, they won't. That's yeah. That's why you're using different channels, and those have very different LTVs. But yeah, a lot of other interesting mistakes. Remo, you can go next, and I'm gonna share more of these.
Okay. Your favorite topic, VR.
Yes, finally.
There we go.
I
Yeah.
love it. Love it.
Yeah, this was the time of the hype train of 2016 where everything was
Oh, you
VR.
you
And
mean
if
you
you
mean
You
last
mean the
week?
last 25 years of hype?
Yeah. The VR is the next platform. VR is that's
it
the
is it
future.
I still think it is, like, we won't get anywhere without it.
Of
Just
course, you are
trust me.
wearing the VR headset already for some time.
Anyway, this was pretty brutal because nobody knew anything. Like, the last thing you knew VR was like Nintendo, like Mario Bros Tennis in 90s. So yeah, there was no like VR whatever best practices. You had to learn everything by trial and error.
Mm.
And of course, like, the first thing that we did was we did like a triple A kind of experience on VR.
Of
And
course.
then suddenly we figured out, probably too slow, but I wouldn't say too slow, but yeah, we could be like faster there, that the user base on PC VR and suddenly the mobile VR was like 10 to 1. So in the end we had to like change the platform of the whole app or the game mid development, and after we took our glorious like Unreal demo for PC into mobile, like Samsung Gear VR, it was running like 5 fps. So
Ooh,
that was great.
amazing.
Yeah, there was one saving grace when one of the programmers there did his magic and pretty much coded some magic things into Unreal and increased the FPS to that 60 frames per second that we had to hit. But I know that we sacrificed a lot in matter of like visual fidelity and the
Mm.
overall kind of feeling of the app. So in the end, even though we built the whole thing for PC from scratch, we had to change it mid development to kind of a completely different thing. So the thing that I would kind of let's say told myself by then, don't really build stuff kind of a solid way, because if it's R&D it will change anyway mid
Yeah,
development. And I've seen it also when we were doing the HTML5 games afterwards on the
yeah,
R&D, which was even a bigger clusterfuck. That, yeah, just don't make assumptions that you think will last more than half a year. They won't. They will last like
yeah.
3 months tops, and after
Three
that
months.
completely different things will happen, which I think also applies to our favorite crypto winter thing. But
Ooh, crypto winter. Don't start with that, man.
yeah,
Just
but anyway, like,
leave it out.
VR was pretty volatile back then, where you would go from PC to mobile VR to suddenly AR to nothing. So
Yeah,
yeah, definitely be more agile and faster if you're doing R&D, because things change super fast.
nice. Okay. I have some more interesting facts actually. I mean, there are such small mistakes, but still interesting learnings because I type super fast sometimes, and I have this like very well, not a good character trait that I don't read or control anything. Oh well, I don't read the text after myself that I read, and you could see that on our LinkedIn posts as well, right? So I had
Yes.
a lot of I had a lot of typos in the texts of the creatives. The funny thing is, like, nobody cared. Nobody, not even like player, because players usually try to comment these like, haha, you made a mistake, blah blah blah. Nobody cared because players don't read those texts in the creatives. You can write whatever you want, and I'm pretty sure either it's gonna be really funny afterwards, or if you type some bullshit there.
Is that
But
really
if you,
true?
yeah, but look, it's even
Could you get
even
conversions if you wrote like Felix Broblik's birthday is February 13th?
we can try, but we don't have a game. We don't have a game, unfortunately. But I would definitely try that out. But then you have also the app description. So do you even read the description in the store, or you just look at the screenshots?
Screenshots.
Yeah, there
But
you go.
isn't that part of the search engine algorithm?
That's a different, yeah, that's of course, yeah, that's a different question. But like the most important part those texts are just the first two lines because nobody reads it, and then
Hmm.
you can use it for the engine and the algo. So yeah, that's like typos in the text. Nobody cared. Also, I used French creatives in the US, which again performed super well for some reason. I was
I
really,
like how half of UA mistakes are actually wins.
we are always testing. We are always testing. There you go. Oh, it was really. I mean, it was really funny. It was for Battle Legion. Somehow, the French creatives got into the mix, and they were performing fine. I mean, I usually use Spanish creatives in US because of a lot of Spanish speaking
Speaking audience.
people. Yeah, speaking audience. So that works, but French not that much. But again, it comes down back to the text, which is nobody cares the text if it's translated within the video. So that's why I usually use like English videos anyway, because well, nobody cares. So that's fun stuff there as well, in terms of the localization or the typos in the text. And then what's more fun when you are reporting cohorts, and then you found out that everything is looking super good, but then you found out that you were reporting a different month, so you're spending from taking spending from different month, and the money or the revenue from another month. So everything looks super good, and then like, oh, this is amazing. But then you
Yeah, I think
actually
that should be one of the first rules here, as Felix mentioned. Like, if it looks too good to be true, it
yeah,
definitely won't.
exactly. Just triple check, and that's what I did. Of course, I was like, whoops. Then I wasn't looking at the right data or the right cohorts. Well, I need to, or you need to double check, triple check everything basically. But it's
Yeah.
just that's how it is. That's how you should work anyway, right?
And if our listeners have any funny mistakes they've made, we'd
Oh yeah.
love to hear it.
Yes,
Please
please share.
comment them and share because mistakes feel so much better than when you can laugh about them. Like
Oh yeah,
100%.
100%.
100%. That's when you can like move on and move forward. So yeah, please do share.
Please do share. But also, what I think you brought it up. Just own the mistakes, not just try to point fingers to anybody else, because it's just like that's bullshit. So if you did it, then it's like just admit and try to learn, and then try to change the process. Maybe you won't do it, or you won't get better at the next try, but at least eventually you will get there.
Eventually.
Eventually you will get there. Yeah, because what keeps happening to me is soft launch countries, and we are opening up new campaigns in the new geos. Suddenly they're like super high CPIs, and then we find out like, hey, well, those new geos are not available on the store. So like, oh, fuck's sake, this is just. And this keeps happening to me, and I'm double checking always, but not every time there is access that I can triple check. But yeah, I mean, this keeps happening, so yeah, be careful. Yeah.
Cool.
Also, if you are attending Gamescom, let us know. We're going to be there. Happy to meet, have a drink. Jakub doesn't drink, but I will take his for sure.
As usual.
We will
As
most
usual.
likely be at the Marriott after 8 o'clock on Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, come find
So,
us.
Yeah, come find us. Yeah, that's it. I think. Thank you very much. See you next
Have a
time.
good week.
Yeah,
Bye.
See ya.
good week. Bye bye.